We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about how attitude is everything.
Boy, we can go a long way with this topic.
Like every other topic that Jill and I talk about on the show, and on the shows actually now, it's rooted in some negative experience we've just had.
Why is that?
Usually it's a positive experience for Jill, me not so much.
Yeah. We are going to talk about this today and get to the bottom of it so we never have to do this again.
One of our staff members came to me recently and said, what do you say we do a separate show where you can rant and say all the stuff that you want, and then we just leave the Land Academy and the House Academy show for stuff that actually helps people and maybe is inspirational? And I said, that's a great thought. I'll think about it. So that hasn't kicked in yet.
No, obviously no. That would be funny. Just nothing but your rants. I have a few too, but it could be a whole show. You know what? We should probably test that because I bet it would be surprisingly popular.
It's in my schedule
by a select audience.
It's in my schedule to record.
Okay, good.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the LandInvestorscom online community. It's free.
Okay. Araldo asks, I'm going through chapter 3 of the original course, which is the Cash Flow from Land show, and see that it shows you should expect to buy 1+ property for every 100 mailers you send out. This, I believe, was in 2015. Is that still accurate? I believe I saw a webinar yesterday. That was just recent.
Yeah.
On November 19th, 19. And that's now 1 property for every 800 mailers. Is the latter the norm now?
So a lot of people piped in on this, like always, I guess, on LandInvestors.com. And so that number, and everybody said the same version of this. That number gets thrown around a lot. When we started this, long before Jill and I started Land Academy, and it was kind of just us and a couple other people in the country doing it, really mostly out west, it was about 1 for every 300, but we were scraping the bottom price-wise. So that number moves around. I've gotten reports, but first of all, that 1 for 100 is not published anywhere. I went back and looked, and the moderator actually said that. The lowest it's ever been, the most attractive, is about 1 to 300 for rural vacant land. You can expect, if you do everything wrong, to buy 1 for 1,000. If you do everything right, less than 1 for 100. I mean, less than 1 for 300. For houses, it's about 1,800-ish, or 1,800 offers to 1 house, one wholesale house at about 70%. But you really shouldn't go into this trying to achieve some mailer yield in the beginning. And I'll tell you what, I do these questions personally. And I run through a lot of questions on Land Investors for both the house show and this land show. And what I'm noticing recently is that there are a lot of questions from people who are members in our group, and they clearly haven't gone through the education. Clearly, they just jumped right in, started asking questions, and maybe that's how you learn. But I think it'd be wise to spend a few hours going through the education programs, because they do really answer all those questions, and they answer them in an order that Jill and I have spent a tremendous amount of time as theoretical educators, in the order that you should understand them. So, and I'm not picking on this person at all. I don't think that you should go into this and scatterbrain ask a bunch of questions, especially with mailer yield. First, you should understand, how to pick a county. There's a structure to this. And Jill and I have been doing this for a lot of years. I've been doing this for more than 25 years. And when people ask questions out of order, or they just flood kind of the environment with questions, I don't know, we've all been in high school where there's some guy in the back or in the front just incessantly asking questions, and the teacher's just going,
That's on the next page, kind of thing.
And you're not supposed to ask it yet. And, I appreciate your ADD. And again, I'm not picking on this person at all. There's a lot in Land Investors right now, a lot of topics that are being thrown around. And I don't think I'm not sure you're getting the best answers you can get.
I was going to add that some people, I think most people that really start off doing a good job, I don't want to pick on anybody again too,
Yeah.
if that's the right way to word this, but I would recommend watching the whole program all the way through start to finish. Then go back and rewatch it. It's kind of like a movie. The first time you watch a movie, you miss some things. And you'll still walk away with that same awesome feeling. Say it's a love story. We all know how they connect at the end. But when you go back and watch it for a second time or a third time, you pick up on little nuances and things that you didn't catch the first time. And it's the same with this. Our programs, all of our education is really packed full of information, because this is who we are, by the way. We don't have we don't hold back on things because you're at this point. We really want to deliver, everything that you need. So there's a lot
it's all in
there.
Mm-hmm. It's all in there. We have one of the lowest, if not the lowest, exit rate or attrition rate for membership, for like kind of the memberships I checked, of any education program around. I think real estate education program.
I would actually go to say that for a lot of things in life, the way people that enter our world, it's a very small
just don't
people.
leave.
Well, we have so many smart people that I think they really do their homework before they get in, because that's who we are too. Please do your homework before you get in and make a good decision. I don't want 1,000 people enrolling today and then 985, unrolling tomorrow. That's dumb.
Yeah.
I really want people to take their time and think about that. And so because of Super Brainy Group, also don't get hung up on one little detail, and don't use that one little detail to say, oh, forget it, I can't do it. And that ties into today's show.
That's the path that this is going down.
Yeah.
It's almost like this does tie into the show.
Yeah, let's start it.
Today's topic, attitude is everything. This is the meat of the show. When you start asking questions out of order, or what you're doing is really preparing yourself and not committing yourself to kind of say, oh, see, that mailer yield? That's not the mailer yield that I wanted. You guys said over here it was 300. Then yesterday you said it was 800. What is it? And then all of a sudden now we're not buying any real estate. It just becomes this other thing.
It's very true. You're right. Don't get hung up on that. We'll talk about that. It's funny.
Yeah. I mean, everybody who's listening to this show who's done a bunch of mailers and done a bunch of deals, you very, very quickly aren't going to worry about your mailer yield. You're going to be worried about doing 2 or 3 deals.
Right.
If let's say a lot of stuff goes wrong, you send out a 3,500 unit mailer, you do 1 deal, and you make 20 grand. So you spent $1,500 on a mailer, you made 20 grand, or even 10. That by any stretch, that's not a failure. And so then, like everything, you just keep working on getting your mailer yield down and the quality of your property up, and your buyer database. Once you buy it, your buyer database bigger, and maybe you find a geographic area where you want to concentrate. So it's like everything. There's no easy button.
It is all about attitude. If you're going to get hung up on something like that, like what you just said, some people, that yield on that mailer that Stephen just described, some people see it as a success, some people see it as a failure. Which one are you? And every person, we talked to some guys the other day, we did a consulting call, and they say they had our first 3 bombed, and here we are on number 4, and this one, we got it all worked out.
Yeah.
The wrong person would have given up and not even got
That's
to mailer
right.
number 2 or number 3. But these people were determined because they had the right attitude.
Yep.
So
you nailed it.
I want to talk about a little bit. I have a couple examples that I wrote down here about the right attitude and the wrong attitude. And I want you to think about which side of the sheet that you're on, because I really did put a list and put a line through it. Because it makes a difference and it's not even just right now, not even just Land Academy. If you have the wrong attitude right now being with us here today, you're probably that way at everything. So think about this. The people with the right attitude, what do? They hit the ground running every single day. Do you do that?
I hit the ground running every single day.
I know you
7 days
do.
a week.
As do I. We do. It's funny. We both actually jump out of bed.
Yep.
We're pretty excited about what we have going on each day, even today. And we jump out of bed.
This is great advice, Joe.
The right attitude also has this, they have this fighter attitude. It doesn't matter what's up against them. It doesn't matter what policies changed in the county that they're mailing. It doesn't matter that an employee didn't show up today. It doesn't matter that a seller changed their mind or a buyer changed their mind. They have this fighter attitude. Hey, so what? I'm going to figure it out and power through it. The right attitude person also takes personal responsibility. This is one of my favorites. It's not what other people did to you that cannot affect your attitude. We've talked about this a lot. A lot of people walk around on this planet thinking that everybody else is there to serve them, make them happy, do this for them. I'm not trying to be political or weird. Cut me off if I go down the wrong.
No,
okay.
I want to hear this too.
Okay. But it's about taking personal responsibility for who you are, what you're doing, how you look, how much money you make, what business you chose. It's really you. No one else is responsible but you. Now, the wrong attitude.
I might have to get involved in this.
Okay. As you should. Please feel free. The wrong attitude is a person who walks around just waiting for others. Well, I can't do this if you can't do that. I put a question 2 days ago in the online community in Land Investors, and no one's answered. So I can't do anything yet till I get the answer and the right one. It's wrong attitude. The wrong attitude is also someone that walks around saying, "Oh, poor me. Gosh, I could be like that too, but it just wasn't in the cards for me. Look, I was born like this. I wish I was 6 foot tall and blonde. At times."
I don't.
Oh, thank you.
At all.
Thank you. But actually, I've had very tall. I wish I was taller. That would be kind of cool. I have some hot friends. I have to pause here to say.
I have some hot friends.
Walking into a room with a hot blonde next to you and watching heads, and then here I come in her wake. Come on. I'm not unhappy, let's be true, but it kind of, I wouldn't mind a day in those shoes just to see what that's like. Anyway.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and I've had several conversations with her that go like this. How much of a pain in the ass is it to look like how you look? And she says, you can't even imagine the negatives grossly outweigh the positives and always have.
That's probably true. Maybe people don't take her seriously a lot. Things like that. I understand. So, but you can't walk around saying, "Poor me, I wasn't dealt the right cards." And then the wrong attitude is just easily giving up. Like, well, that's it, throwing in the towel. This first mailer, this doesn't work. I'm just not going to do it.
Here's a conversation I had recently with a person who is buying some property. Imagine that. We talked to people who buy property, and they said some version of this. I opened escrow. I spoke with the person in escrow 2 weeks later. Red flag number one for me, because I should be speaking with the person in escrow every minute, because this person's brand new in the industry. And they said the property needs needs to be probated. And that person said, okay, next. And that was it. So this is what I'm talking about with attitude. This is the reason I wrote this title and the reason that I chose this question in this episode. That's a huge problem. Jill and I, this is episode 1200. We make this look easy. And you know what? For the right personality and the right person who has the right attitude and a little bit of experience at doing something else in their life successfully, it's relatively easy than, let's say, for me to own a convenience store. It's much easier for me to do this than be a partner at KPMG or an accounting firm. Or, I'm sure, Jill, I don't want to speak for you, but it's probably easier than working at an airline in any capacity, from the top to the bottom. So you have to have the right attitude. And in this situation, this person, for whatever reason, chose not to ask the right questions of the title agent. For all I know, And Jill and I have been here a million times in transactions like this. That title agent may have been overworked that month, just didn't want to do the deal. So you got to, the attitude Jill's talking about, wake up in the morning, you're a go-getter, you're not going to let anything get you down, and you're going to barrel through it and do whatever it takes to get that property purchased and then sold as fast as possible. That's the attitude Jill's talking about. So it's frustrating for people like us who have been so crazy successful, both at educating and at, we continue to do incredible deals, multi-million-dollar deals we're doing now. It's frustrating for me to hear a story from somebody who's giving up so early and they don't even know it. I guess what they're trying to do is just find a perfect deal, which doesn't exist, by the way. Of the 16,000 deals Jill and I have completed, there's no perfect deal. Never.
Wouldn't that be nice?
In fact, of all the deals, the ones I remember are the ones that were, a fiery ball of tragedy that Jill probably brought back to life and actually got done, both on the buy side and the sell side. Those are wins.
It's true.
That'd
be my last thing. One of the best things about having that, if you have that fighter attitude, when you win at something and you get through it and it's something that 10, 20, or how many people would pass on it, and you're like, I'm going to get this done and watch what happens. Then it's like, pounding your chest. So once you get going, if you're on the fence or your one attitude, you want to be the other attitude, just get out of your own head, barrel through, and once you succeed, the confidence that you have, and when you know, okay, I can do this, do it again, and I'm going to do it again, I'm going to do it again. And then you know what? Now you have the right attitude, and it all comes easy.
Well said.
Thank you.
It's you.
Happy you could join us today. We have a new script, and I'm still learning what to say.
Me too.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can find us on the Land Academy Show. Each Tuesday and Thursday, we are on the House Academy Show.
Tomorrow on the episode, the House Academy episode, tomorrow, the episode on the House Academy Show is how to get unlimited SFR deal flow. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
I have to add, it's Monday right now. It's Thanksgiving week. So I think people who are listening or watching are either traveling or about to travel. So wish you safe travels. And I want to just point out that even though we have some Black Friday specials coming up. That's what I just wanted to say. So if you're listening, thinking about this, even if you're already a member, we have some stuff for you too. So watch for Black Friday specials that are coming up. The Land Academy Daily Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.